Boom, baby, we're live. Welcome to Interview with the Man, episode number 719. Destiny had no frame, so it got messy. We're going to do a little breakdown of a recent clip that he put out on his channel for the whole world to see. So I'm assuming it's okay to do some commentary on it. I'm not trying to kick the man while he's down, but what I will say is that there are a ton of red flags that are very easily viewable by me that I'm going to break down and show you how this could have been avoided and all the mistakes that were made in this relationship that he got into with this terrible, terrible chick, Melina, who's showing her true colors now, which happens when you get finessed by a 304. We all know where she's now. She's back out there, but don't forget, this can be completely avoided by you because on December 28th, we are 5 days away. The course is filmed. It is getting color corrected now, and then we are going to start the editing and execution and the uploading of it onto the course platform. If you're not on the waiting list for this, I am assuring you, you are going to miss out on tons of things. I don't even know if you're paying attention to the cryptocurrency market, but I've been telling you guys about Solana. Nobody's been talking about Solana as much as me. It is the easiest money to make in this upcoming bull run. It is seriously like left curve IQ easy to make this kind of money. But we got all that and so much more coming up. The Masculine Empowerment Network, December 28th. Take a look right here. My name is Jonathan, and I used to be just like you. I was just an average guy that wanted to date a few nice women so I could find what I liked and just move on with my life. I numbed myself with distractions so I could ease the pain. But in reality, it really never went away. Without any help, it's just not that easy. And even like you, I looked for answers online, but the results were hard to find.
If you sun your balls, there is a study. It's an older...
A 3-pack for $29.95. Famous Bad Boy series bond 2. Ladies find this pleasing.
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
I didn't want to take sides in some stupid online argument. I wanted results, and after years of failure, I found the one secret thing that changed it all. After learning this skill, my eyes were open to a whole new secret world that only a few people will ever see. I went from having no confidence to having pure, undeniable proof that I could find women anywhere in the world that were totally into me. So of course, naturally, I became more confident. I went from a confused and lonely guy to a man with so many options that I literally cannot date them all.
See what you just saw? It may look like a commercial, but that is my reality. I see a world that nobody can see through the secrets of understanding body language. Now ask yourself a question. How long are you going to wait and go through those lonely nights, endless rejections, and feeling insignificant until you decide to take action and change your life today? I've been doing this since 2019, and I have thousands of men that have changed their lives from Tokyo to Tampa, from Chicago to Saigon. There's only one name in the game, and that's me, MLD. Join us in the Masculine Empowerment Network, and we'll change your life today.
That's right. Get on down to masculineempowermentnetwork.com and then put your best email address in right here, right in this little box, type it in, and you'll be good to go. You'll be locked and loaded, ready to roll for free. And don't forget, I'm sending out a free module that's going to help you understand if a woman is lying to you or not. Completely for free, No strings attached. It is literally click, open the email, free module right there. And I may throw a little bonus instructional in there, but I need somebody to get on the waiting list and send me an email. Tell me you want the bonus module on top of the free body language module to help you identify if a woman is lying to you or not. So as of this morning, the waiting list is now at 186 fresh new members ready to get in and start the new year right. Guys, I'm telling you, 2024 is the year of more, okay? Because this market is set. I know everybody's talking about financial doom and gloom, but why is BlackRock just buying up single family houses nonstop? Where is this real estate crash that they've been talking about? Where's the stock market crash? Why did Nancy Pelosi just put $5 million worth of trades in to acquire more NVIDIA? Okay, the greatest stock trader of American history, Nancy Pelosi. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, that's even more reason for you to jump on in to the Masculine Empowerment Network, because this is what we got going on. Again, Body Language Mastery, my newest, latest, and greatest course. Everything I learned from all the dark past, everything I learned from putting out the Passport Bros, everything I've learned from the dark past 2, all of this information has been consolidated into this course, which is coming here now. My latest and greatest course, Body Language Mastery 4.0, which is a video training guide to read woman's body language and know if she's attracted to you or not. Okay? Or not. Most importantly, not. We want to get rid of the ones that you think are interested in you, but they're actually not, and they're just leading you on. So you can go find the girl of your dreams. 20 webinars with experts in money, muscles, game, and frame. I have a soft confirmation from a multi-millionaire who's going to come and talk about another easy money-making opportunity here. First timer in the Masculine Empowerment Network. If you cannot attend these webinars because they are done on Zoom, they are live, they are not pre-recorded. They are done on Zoom, they are done live, they're not pre-recorded, and all your questions will be answered live as well. It will be 1 hour to 2 hours of presentation time. And then after that, we have an amazing opportunity for you guys to get all your questions answered. There's no time limit, okay? There's nothing. You come in there and you get your questions answered immediately, the day of. Who else is offering this? Nobody. Nobody else is offering this, okay? In addition to that, after it's recorded, it's stored on a database with 200 plus hours of previous webinars dating all the way back to 2019. So you can get a good medley and lifetime access to this database that allows you to see all of the greats that have come in here in the past, okay, and teach you with hours and hours and hours and hours of footage. Okay, let me just pull this up real quick. Okay, so here's the website. This is Men. This is when we should do just exclusively body language mastery. Here's all the quarters, you know, quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4 of 2020, quarter 2, 3, and 4 of 2019. We didn't start recording them until 2019. And then also here, you get access to all these quarters, all 2023, all 2022 as well. So all of that is included in this, okay? And then this is the schedule, and it is filling up quickly. These are all live webinar trainings you get to attend, okay? I'm leading the charge with how not to get scammed. I'm going to teach you guys how not to get scammed out here in this self-development world and in life in general, okay? Because I notice guys with low game also have low social acuity, so they don't know if they're getting a good deal or not. I'm going to show you how to protect yourself to never get scammed for the rest of your life, whether it's cars, whether it is houses, whether it's girls, whether it's job promotion saying, oh, we can't pay you, we can't do this. No, I'm going to show you exactly how to get what you want, which will help grow your frame and confidence in this world. We have everything. We got the Passport Bros here. We got Apex Mindset. We got guys for Inner Game. We got guys. I'm going to be talking about the truth about cryptocurrency in the next bull run. And this is the final bull run to make huge money. Okay. Institutional money is coming into the place. All right. That means big names. Okay. Like BlackRock, Vanguard, all of these huge companies are coming into the place. And it's going to become as boring and predictable and non-profitable as TradFi, traditional finance. So this is the last chance. On Friday, I'm also going to show you guys how to build a high value Instagram, because this is super important. This is super, super, super important. And I really want to show you guys how to build this so you can use this to go out there and meet girls and network and build your network, and you know how to do status games, so you don't just sit at home and watch, you know, red pill videos and think to yourself you're an alpha male and you have no women and happiness in your life. Okay, if you're watching the content of a content creator and it's not making you happier, healthier, and on the way to the life that you want, then what are you doing? This is a big one. Pommy Pickup is going to be talking about how to cold approach. This is a guy who has done literally 10,000 plus approaches in Tokyo, Romania, and Germany. He is an international guy, and he's done it in the West. He's done it in the East. He knows exactly how to make the cold approach game make sense to you. Okay. And then we have the two phenoms, the big boys, King Dre, Alpha Kingdom, will be also talking about game as well. So all of this is included. Okay. And then there's still more. You also get access to the Telegram chat, and then 3 end of month checkup calls, January, February, and March. Direct interaction with me, MLD, and squad. All that and more. Scan that QR code right now, and you'll be locked and loaded. I'm just going to tell you something. People are emailing me right now. It is so funny. It's hilarious how people are coping already at the very, very, very beginning of this bull market, because yes, we are in a bull market. It may not look like it, but if you just pay attention to what I was telling you, literally 2 days ago, okay? I've been making these calls on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, MLD Motivation, okay? Or if you follow me on Instagram, you guys will know I've been telling you guys that Solana is the easiest money to be made in this upcoming bull market. It is the Ethereum of 2021 in this bull market. This thing is ripping upwards. Bare minimum, I think we're going to see is $200 Solana. Obviously, you should read the book, The Psychology of Money, because I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Everybody just has an educated guess. But if you've been paying attention to my social media, especially my Instagram, Hot Dude Life, and you saw me put out a call for blockchain analysts and cryptocurrency traders who have earned 6 or 7 figures, I have right now a 13-man team that has been working with me behind the scenes, and we have made allocations already. Based upon our numbers, if our math, and we have calculated everything on an extremely conservative basis, no more moon math, no more bulletproof portfolio, none of this garbage that lost people millions of dollars, none of that. We are backed by conservative bull estimates and mathematics. We're calculating market cap, coin circulation, dividing that properly to get the price. So when somebody tells you, oh yeah, Solana is going to 3,000, no, it's not. Okay. No, it's not. The math doesn't add up. That would need to have like trillions of dollars in there. Okay. And I'm going to be covering this in my webinar, The Truth About Cryptocurrency. And due to popular demand, the Tokyo Crypto Show is coming back. I have already locked down the new co-hosts. We're going to be giving you guys free alpha every week for this last bull run, and then it's going to disappear. So it's one last shebang, guys. One last shebang. And it's my way of making up for what happened last time, being associated with Tweedledee and Tweedledum. But it's okay. It's okay. Because I'm just going to keep on doing what I do, which is helping men. If you don't believe me, look at my 3,000 plus videos here for free on my YouTube channel. And I've been talking about cryptocurrency since 2019, before it was cool to do so. A lot of these scam influencers are going to come in. You see what happened to BitBoy. You see what happened to all these fucking frauds. One by one, they're getting outed. Okay. But me and my team, we have private equity managers in TradFi consulting us as well. Right? This is no joke. And I'm not going to beg anybody to sign up. Okay. Those who sign up, one of the guys, now I have helped this young man before, and he DM'd me on Telegram and he asked me for some advice. And because this guy is an OG and he's been in my community for a long time, he didn't sign up for Masculine Empowerment Network this year. That's okay. But he wanted to know, what to do. I gave him one alpha play. He just texted me this morning. He's like, Jesus Christ, bro, I'm already up massively. It's like, I told you. I told you. I'll just let the results speak for themselves. Hands up. Results speak for themselves. Okay. And speaking of I told you so, today's episode, look, this is not throwing shade at Destiny. I'm not trying to kick this man while he's down, but he uploaded this thing onto his channel, and I'm just going to give my breakdown on it. I'm not trying to start no beef, okay? And shout out to everybody leaving me a comment yesterday saying I'm a hard worker working through the holidays. Guys, there's in my life, there is no holiday. There's just every day is work day. Wake up, get at it. You know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It doesn't matter, bro. I'm out here. I'm doing the same thing every day. My schedule has not changed. Rain or shine, profit or loss, every single day. Consistency is undefeated. And I'm going to show you guys by going back to the roots, sitting here, streaming every day, making as much positive content as possible to help as many people as possible. Rain or shine, baby. I'm going to be here on Christmas Day. I'm going to be here on New Year. I might even count in the New Year here with me and Happy live on a live stream. We'll see what happens. A lot of my friends are inviting me on Tokyo, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, let's just jump right into it, shall we? Shout out to everybody. We are live streaming now to X at MLD Motivation. We are live streaming to Twitch, Hot Dude Life. We are live streaming to YouTube, which is Modern Life Dating. And we are live streaming also now to Instagram, Interview with a Man. Shout out to all my homies on Instagram. Shout out to mcenteno22 on Instagram. Shout out to, let me see who else is writing in the chat. If you want me to shout you out, shout out to Mexiblaster. Cool name. Cool name. Destiny is a moral BOC. What is a BOC? I don't know what that means. Shout out to my friend Dixon. Dixon is watching live. I don't know if he's still watching, but I saw your name on the watch list there. Dixon is the brains behind a lot of these great commercials that I've been putting out on my channel. And shout out to Condra Aaron as well, who is shouting me out on Instagram. So let's get going. Greetings from Boston, says Luis L. Costano, also on Instagram. Shout out to you guys. What is up? We got a full house. And then shout out to all my ultra degenerates on Rumble. We got all the people in Rumble. One quick announcement. Don't forget, get on the MLD Alerts Telegram. Please go ahead and click on that link in the chat. Billy, the producer of the chat producer, Billy, is going to be putting the Telegram link in the chat right now. And thank you very much. Go ahead. There's 371 people on there. Also, I put a Solana alert on the Telegram alerts. So we're cooking, boys. We are cooking. We are cooking. I got my holiday sweater on, given to me by a lovely individual in my life. And making her happy by wearing this. Happy is at the cleaners. She is getting cut and clean up. So Big Daddy MLD has got the whole day and morning right here for you guys. We're dropping alpha. We are just going to be, damn, bro. I can't, like, I almost want to show you my wallet balance, but I'm not, because that would be stupid. That's like mad fucking retarded, actually. But I'm good. I'm mega good. I'm mega good. So everything's good right there. And there's the link right there. There's the link. Thank you so much, Billy. You're the best. Love you. Shout out to the ladies in the chat. Lovely Lex says, oh, this is going to be good. Evil laugh. And then shout out to Brooklyn, another lady in the chat. Shout out to all you homies, female homies out here watching me. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. This is a long one. This is going to be whiteboard breakdown. Yeah. iPad's charged. I got my sparkling water. I got my regular water and my glass bottles. And we are rocking and rolling. Here we go. It's time to do a dissect. Here we go. All right. Here we go. So this is on his channel. It says Destiny. Melina contacts Destiny and asks for money. So here we go.
Melina reaches out to me for the first time in like 10 days. Okay. 12 days. Okay. Because she's blocked me on everything. And now she's like, oh, we should talk. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's interesting. We hop into a call, and I think like the first thing I say is like, I'm irritated by a couple things.
I'm going to put it at like 1.5 speed. You chat, let me know if it's too fast for you.
One thing I'm irritated about is that my ex-wife has reached out to a ton of people. At least 5 mutual friends have alerted me. I have no idea how many other are affected. Basically saying that I've lied about a ton of stuff and that I am abusive.
That's the meta. That's the meta right now. So that's let me just tell you something. In girl psychology land right now, for the women that are kind of not as higher up on the consciousness scale, they now conflate, which means combine, right? They now conflate a guy not giving them positive emotions 24/7, 365. They say like, oh, if this guy makes me feel bad by saying anything, like, hey, I don't think that sweater matches you. She's like, you're so emotionally abusive to me, because she takes personal offense to it. And then she then offloads the responsibility of her feelings, which your feelings are your responsibility, right? And then sorry, a fucking super chat just threw me off. But what basically they offload the responsibility of their emotions onto you. So they're like, it's your fault. You said something, you made me feel this way, therefore you are abusing me. This is abusive. This is a common meta. This is happening with westernized girls in Tokyo, like American and Japanese girls, Americanized Japanese girls, or Japanese girls like half American, half Japanese. And this is a meta. Like anything, if a man doesn't lay down and completely prostitute himself out for you and make you like the number one thing in his life to pay full attention to, and just basically you have to be her source of happiness, finance, sexual satisfaction, everything. And if you can't do that, you're abusive. And that's exactly what's happening right here. Okay. That's exactly what is happening right here. And hey,
shut up and take my money.
I think we tried to warn Destiny. We tried to. The whole world tried to warn him. And here we're gonna get a breakdown. Real quick, I'm going to shout out this chat right quick. Shout out to Sam, $20 super chat. I just signed up for monthly coaching. Hey, what's up? I'll send you the link right after the show. Been trying to stay constant, but need someone to hold me accountable and stay on the narrow path. Well, we got coaching tomorrow night. So if you guys want to get in and actually talk about cryptocurrency, go to modernlifedating.com, sign up for the coaching, the monthly coaching. It's $150, 2 coaching calls per month with the group. And then I'm going to be dropping Crypto Alpha in there as well. Give you a little behind the scenes of what we're going to be doing in 2024. So if you want to get in, move now. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. Sam, I got you. I will send you that and you'll be locked and loaded right away.
Or I guess abusive means I've lied before or cheated. That's like what abusive means now, I guess, which is chill. I'll go with that. Sometimes we roll that abusive lifestyle. Yeah. That's it's a little bit annoying that every single person that Melina talks to, and then every single person Tim talks to, and then every single person that these 2 people talk to are basically being told that I'm like an abuser and a liar, and just like all sorts of other like insanely unhinged is a little bit, I'd say a little bit annoying. That's one thing that's irritating. And the second thing that's irritating is I don't like being called a liar. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have believed anything the first time when I got upset. I probably shouldn't have, because I should have waited longer and typed out something more formal. I probably shouldn't have. But yeah, I would, yeah, I don't know why. Yeah. I don't know why you call me a liar over. Yeah. Yeah. Does she actually weaponize therapy? Melina weaponizes everything. I remember we got into a fight in Vegas.
And just so you know, the guy that I'm going to show you guys again, the guy that was the dude that Melina left him for was this guy right here. And so he's obviously the epitome of alpha. But yeah, that's who she left him for. And he's milking the clout, because I think even Sneeko was talking about him. It's so funny. Let me let this play.
She's
actually no, I'm good. No, let's just stay on the show because I have to unmute something else. Yeah, so pretty yikes. But I mean, again, if you you know, you put lipstick on a pig, still a pig. Still a pig.
Because
what's your analysis? Why would she leave him for an even bigger dweeb? Proximity. That dude's closer, and that dude was more alpha than Destiny because he said, I demand exclusivity. And Destiny says it here. He talks about it. He says he's been a pushover the whole relationship, aka no frame. I'm telling you, when you sacrifice frame for the relationship, you are sacrificing both. If a woman, okay, guys, listen. If a woman does not get in your frame, the relationship is doomed. Okay. She has to be 100% in your frame or the relationship is doomed. It will not work. Okay. There is no second option. There is one option. She's in your frame or she has to go. And if you're too weak as a man and you're going to concede to her breaking your frame demands, internally your self-esteem is going to get crushed on top of that, because internally on a subconscious level you know that you're selling yourself short, you're not being true to yourself, and then that causes a slow but steady deterioration in everything in your life. Okay, that's why you see these guys that used to be like mega giga chads become shells of their former self because they start listening to some chick bossing them around and stuff.
Tim was spamming her phone saying, if you want to raise kids, you can't do it in a poly relationship. Or with an American, just random shit. And I'm just like, why are you arguing with this person about this? This is retarded. And we got into a huge fight over this. And I remember one of the things she said to me in the fight, she's like, are you even on your meds today? Maybe that's why your mood is so like, damn, only you're going in. I don't think she meant it. I think she was trying to find shit me, but it was a good insult. I'll give it an 8.5. Jesus. Who do the mutual friends believe? So one of the issues, let me say this right now, okay? I need to organize thoughts, figure out what I want to say, what I don't want to say. Because I don't want to just leak all the details of my relationship. If for no other reason, because it's just dumb. And it makes everybody look bad. It's just stupid. I need to go over all of it. But just a little update, I guess, on where my brain is at. Somebody asked, who do the mutual friends believe? I think prior to a few weeks ago, I think most of the mutual friends kind of believe Melina, because there's this really irritating trend where, and listen, I say this to everybody, okay? If you don't believe me, okay, I don't know what I'm saying to you guys, because you don't have access to these people. So if you don't believe me, go talk to other people, okay? And I have messaged people, I have asked people, do you feel this is accurate? Do you feel this is true? The issue is that, let me invent a story. This is truly invented. It didn't happen. There's no resemblance to reality here, okay? Let's say that I'm sleeping and Mel comes into the bedroom and she has an air horn and she thinks it'd be a funny prank to press the air horn, okay? Let's say that she does that and it wakes me up and I get so irritated. I wake up, I just slap her. And then I chill for a second. I'm like, sorry. And she's upset, and then I'm upset, and we argue, and then we separate, okay? Let's say theoretically, let's say this event happens, okay? The way that this would work, okay, this isn't tongue in cheek, I'm completely mixed up, but to demonstrate a point, the way that this would work is, if I was complaining to a friend about Melina's behavior, this is what I would say, okay? I would say, Melina is super upset. She woke me up with an air horn, okay? And it super triggered me, and I hit her, and I absolutely shouldn't have. That was stupid. I understand why Melina's upset, but the air horn shit triggered me, okay? But yeah, I mean, obviously, I probably shouldn't hit her, right? This is how I tell basically every story involving me and Melina's problems to every single mutual friend. And has been for the history of our relationship. When Melina tells a story to a mutual friend, Melina will say, yesterday I played a harmless prank on Steve and he hit me for absolutely no reason. And I think he always harbors his feelings against me. I don't know why it hit me. I don't even know if I feel safe here anymore. It's horrible. That's how Melina tells stories. So for the history.
So right there, that's the sign. And if you look into Melina's past, a lot of stuff has happened to her. That's the sign of a person who has not healed her traumas. Okay. Healthy people don't get into this kind of problem and turmoil and stuff in relationships. Healthy women, they want peace in a relationship. They want happiness. They want stability. They don't want this kind of turmoil. Okay. They want a roller coaster of emotion. But when you get into these toxic swings of we're going to go super, super, super toxic. And then now we're going to go super, super, super lovey, lovey. Eventually the pendulum swings too hard to the negative side. And then she gets to a breaking point and the relationship falls apart. And that's exactly what happens here. Okay. And when you see a woman like her being ultra manipulative, because, this is karma, honestly, because what they did to me with that whole coordinated viral hit piece on me, it was complete manipulation. It was complete lies. Even on the Fresh and Fit live thing with Valuetainment, Melina said that's why she said something like, that's why MLD walked off the stage because he was a bitch. And I was just like, no, that's not the case whatsoever. I clearly stated at the beginning that I had to go be with my mentor, Big Brand Carter, who is a multi-million-dollar fucking elite alpha male that I am not trying to show up late for a studio call that he put out to me to come on his show. That's the last thing I'm trying to do. It's a terrible look. And, you know, so I had to be there, but, you know, she is lying, manipulating in public. What do you think? She's going to lie and manipulate in public and then go home and be an angel? No, they're usually worse at home because they know that the camera's on them. But these people, they slip. They have bad moments of, you know, their bad character eventually shines through. You know, you can't conceal that bad character forever. And that's exactly what happened here.
Of our relationship, every single mutual friend will get like I try to give like the most balance I can. And then from Melina, it's like the most one-sided, unbelievable collection of facts. It's just like unreal. So the problem is that when Melina goes and talks to mutual friends about things, and then I talk, Melina always sounds like a good guy because like I'm trying my best to do both sides and she's just dumping on me.
Right. And then another thing is this, right? If you're in a relationship, guys, and your woman has the terrible relationship destroying habit of running to her friends that she knows will take her side, these girls are typically not in relationships. These girls are typically hoes, and single women keep women single. And they're going to say, you know what? You can do better. You can go out there. And, you know, Destiny is probably a guy who's at least bare minimum millionaire. I don't know if multimillionaire, but he's doing something well with his money to keep this whole, you know, media industry he has going, because he has a big brand. You know, there's no, you can't take that away from him. He has a big successful brand. And but her girlfriends will be like, hey, guess what? You know, you can replace him. You could do better. You can do better. You can do better. And then they believe that lie. They start sipping the Kool-Aid. And then next thing you know, you're alone. You're with a brokey. Your reality starts crumbling down. And all those girls that cheered you on, they're nowhere to be found after they got you to come back to Holand. When they get you to come back to the streets,
She belongs to the streets.
guess what? They leave you cold and alone. You got to go out there and live with your decision.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's very annoying. Now that I've had like way more time, I say way more time, it's like 2 weeks or 10 days, 12 days. Now that I've had like more time out of things, and then I'm looking back on things, and then when I review things with friends, I can see that this like pattern has been so strong and so unbelievably like transparent in the different approaches to things that it's just like the most wacky shit in the world. Sorry, so today my shit was delayed. Like I said, has she done this with you about other people? Yes, Melina does this to everybody. One of the things that I complained to the therapist about.
So when you see that happening, like, you have to understand, if she doesn't change, you got to get out. Like, there is no, people are who people are. And like, everybody believes people change. And the only changes that people make are, they change to become more like who they are. They get worse. They don't become better. Like, if you're a person who has made a drastic change in your life, you turned your life around, like, you used to be broke, you made money, you used to be fat, you lost weight, you used to be skinny, now you're jacked, you know, you used to not be getting girls, now you get girls on the reg. You are a special outlier of a human, because most people cannot do that. Most people cannot turn their lives around. And, you know, he was just smoking a shitload of opium, and he was, you know, blinded by, you know, the fact that I guess the sex was good because she's so fucked up in the head. You know, the crazier you are in the head, you know, the crazier you are in bed. But yeah, I guess he didn't see it, or he didn't have the ability to see it. But I mean, the whole world was telling him this is going to come to a bad end, and he was just like, no. But here we are.
I also make these complaints to Melina, but Melina never acknowledges any fault or wrongdoing, anything, which is frustrating. But one example of this was like Darius, for instance. Melina was 100% unequivocally wrong and exaggerated / lied about everything having to do with the Darius situation. But because it ended up in a place where she didn't like, she emotionally rewrote the entire history of their interactions to make it seem like Darius was like a clingy, abusive loser the entire time.
And that, again, that's exactly what we talk about here on the channel. It's like how they will rewrite history in order to make things better in their mind. You know, that's what they do. They want to rewrite history, and they want to tell themselves a story that logically justifies their feeling, because that's just a normal human emotion. Give me 1 second, guys. I've got to go and turn off this heater that's in the other room. I just realized that. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Please wait.
Time to get paid, blow. Time to get paid. Time to get paid, blow up like I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up to get paid, blow up like I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, time to get paid, blow. Time to get paid. Time to get paid, blow up like I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. We are right back. I don't want to burn the house down here. Let's get back to it.
I won't go into too many details of that because, like I said, I don't I have to figure out which stories are relevant, because I don't want to do this whole oh, I'm spilling everything. I just want to have this. I just want to fight two really widespread impressions that really bother the fuck out of me. One is that I'm this horrible, abusive, one-sided, terrible person that Melina escaped. Okay, number one.
Yeah, Daniel Hernandez says perfect. As soon as she's checked out, she will rewrite the whole relationship and make you seem fucked up. Light switch effect. Yeah, and that's when you know when you're in a relationship with a woman that is not emotionally mature and developed, because when you're a good relationship, okay, with a good woman, when the relationship ends, she does not go on a smear campaign of you and start tearing you down, sending text messages to the group chat. She does not go and start blocking you everywhere. That's a huge red flag too. And the fact that she hasn't been blocked everywhere is just bro, come on, man. Come on, bro. That's as soon as if a woman blocks me, you're done. You're done. I'm never, ever, ever, ever gonna disrespect myself to that level. That if a woman has the audacity and immaturity and selfishness to block me after I'm in some kind of relationship with her, if she's gonna do that, you're out. Peace. It is game over. No way. You have completely annihilated anything that could resemble or any kind of friendship or anything between the two of us, because I do not have time for that kind of immature, childish, manipulative, quite frankly, toxic behavior. I do not. Okay.
And number two is I don't know how many people now have heard insane things about me behind the scenes now, because when I talk to some people and I'm like, have you heard this story? And they're like, yeah, isn't this when you did that, and that? And I'm like, is that all you heard about this? That drives me crazy. And then three, I don't like the fact now that Mel and Tim are on their streams, basically saying I'm lying about things, which is also driving me crazy. It's I'm not lying about it. Why would I lie about anything related to our lives that is so easily verifiable? I would be so stupid to tell lies about these topics that you've told everybody about, because everybody knows them. Tim is the meme text guy or whatever.
Tim is the guy, the feminine looking guy that she left him for.
You do give off low-key abusive partner vibes. Yeah, I do that because of the way that I talk about my relationship and the way that I express myself on stream. The reality is I'm a complete pushover on every part of my fucking life.
Right there. You hear that? The reality is I'm a complete pushover in every part of my life. And to look at that what he's saying, again, what he's saying, no frame. No frame. If you have no frame, guys, people will take advantage of you. People will abuse you. People will use you. Okay. The only person in your life that has your best interests at heart, if you're lucky, is your mother and your father, if you're lucky. And then number three is you. But you have number one agency over the direction of your life. And other people, if you do not stick up for yourself, if you do not tell them no, if you do not have boundaries, which is frame, and you do things that in your heart you're like, I don't want to do this, but I'm doing it because and then you lie to yourself because I need to be a good Christian, or I need to be a good man, or I need to do this, or I need to do that. And the answer to this question is very simple. If you do not want to do it, don't do it. Do what you want to do. And that includes not doing things. Okay. Like if you have a friend who only hits you up every 3 months, he's like, hey man, I got to move. I don't know, friends moving every 3 months, but you get like a guy or a girl in your life, they only hit you up when they need something. Then that person is a person that is not really valuing you as an individual, because they're just popping into your life to use you and disappear. This person views you as a utility. They don't view you as an actual person. And they'll continue to do this unless you stand up and you're like, no. The answer is no. Don't talk to me like that. Don't treat me like that. No, I'm not going to pay that price. Yes, I will walk away from that deal. No, you're not going to talk to me like that. No, you're not going to touch my girlfriend. Okay. I got a lot of heat on Jedediah's show when I said, look, if I get married, I don't want other man, even if it's playful, I don't want another man touching my wife and dancing with her. And people were like, oh, this guy seems insecure. Like, no, motherfucker, I got frame, right? And I don't want some other man coming up and touching my woman. And another thing is this. This is why you don't put your main girl on YouTube and social media, because the pressure of the relationship being public, it's just not a good thing. You should hide and protect the women that you love completely off of social media. Like when I see dudes posting their girl like, oh, here's my girl, I love her so much, she's amazing. I'm like, bro, hide that chick, dude. You do not know what sick pervert is watching her on Instagram. And these dudes are out here, bro. These perverts and weird dudes are out here en masse, bro. Talk to one of your girlfriends. And you know, I one of my girlfriends here, she's like a legitimate model. She has like contracts, and she's like on magazines, she's on television. She's a beautiful girl, right? And she was showing me some text messages and emails she gets from this creepy guys. You know, this one dude was like, oh, do you like Cartier? I want to buy you some Cartier. It's like, dude, you never even met this girl, and you're like this skeezy and creepy. And she only has a couple thousand followers. She only has like 2,000 followers. So if you're out there and you're like, oh, I love my girl, and like, here's a picture, and here's her Instagram at, bro, you are putting out a target on your woman for fucking fake social media like points. Okay. That's why I never put any woman that's important to me. You never see her on these streams, and you never will, because it's a and another thing is this, it's not a player move, bro. Like, sure, you should post, you can put this girl on the internet, and then other girls will be like, oh yeah, he has a girl, I want to be that girl too. But at what cost? The cost of your relationship, the cost of your privacy, the cost of security. Like, are you that dense? You know, it's not a good move whatsoever. So, and we're seeing a fallout of it right here.
You do give off low-key abusive partner vibes. Yeah, I do that because of the way that I talk about my relationship and the way that I express myself on stream. The reality is I'm a complete pushover on every part of my fucking life. Well, no, that's not true, actually. I'm not anymore. I just was in my relationship, but that's done. Thank God. Okay? Holy shit. Would you say this is largely a male thing, or do you think this is a meme ticks guy thing? I don't know how much I'll get into that, but one thing I will say that minded me for a long time is I think almost every single initial read that I had of Melina was incredibly accurate. And I'm very upset that I let so many people push me off of what were really strong gut feelings about my wife that I spent 5 years. I know.
You hear that? So in his gut, he knew that this was probably not a good idea. But then I'll tell you what really happened. That pussy was really good. She was cute for him. For him, that's a cute girl. Okay. I've met Destiny. He's a manlet. Okay. He's a little soy manlet. This guy could not defend himself in a fight. He is frail in real life. He's a little manlet. And yeah, to get a girl like that, you know, even though she got yellow teeth and fucking hairy feet, you know, and she's a fucking devious whore, which we're seeing now. You know, when I called her that, everybody's like, oh my God.
Cyber misogyny.
Right. But then now it's all coming out, and everybody's like, oh, we're, you know, oh, well, I guess you were right. We go back to watch some drama now. Shut up. Okay. For the people that are smart and sober watchers and just observing my critical analysis from an objective standpoint of these situations that are happening, you'll see. I know I will be right, and I'm not gloating in this situation, but I'm just saying, you know, here we are. Like, and you're broadcasting it to the world. And ultimately, I do think Destiny is a smart guy, and I think he will bounce back from this. Will he get into? He's definitely learned from this because he's not stupid. And but I think he is just kind of like holding on to his like open left brain, left like liberal minded perspective still on like more of like an ego point at this time, because like the red pill was telling him, Sneeko was telling him, Myron was telling him, the whole internet was telling him, and he was just like, no, cope. And then now here we have an hour and a half long trauma dump on his channel explaining about how he was wrong. And he let his buddies talk him. And that's another thing. When you're framed, if you know in your heart that you're right about something, and that you know that something that you're involved in is something you shouldn't be involved in, and you go against your gut feeling, your gut's right, man. It's your second brain in your stomach. And yeah. Keep Hooping asked me, MLD, have you ever been close to Melina? Yeah, I was live in studio with her 2 times on the Whatever podcast and also on Valuetainment Money. Yeah. And if you watch in that clip, I hold frame too. When she at one point, Melina, she said, she called me a piece of shit. I was like, hey, don't talk to me like that. And she tried to say something, and I looked at her right in the eye. I said, hey, don't talk to me like that. And she shut the fuck up. Okay. And it was hard to, for a lot of guys to, when someone talks to you in a disrespectful way, to look them in the eye, like, do not talk to me like that. Because a lot of you guys, just to be very critical, a lot of you guys are not as internally strong with your inner game as you should be, and that you're capable of, right? But the thing is, if you neglect your self-development, eventually in life, as life goes on, holes in your game are going to be exposed. And life will teach you, or life will continue to punish you, because either it's going to teach you by you learning and changing your behavior, or you're going to continue to do the same shit, and then you're going to go about your way. And, eventually one mistake is going to be too many. Okay. So let's go back to what we have here.
Who this person is. I think Melina is incredibly intelligent. I think that like the Tim guy, and we might get this smart, I think he is like an abuser or manipulator, but Melina has all the power in that relationship. And in retrospect, I see like how everything works, and everything makes so much more sense. When I go back with like my initial gut feelings and everything, now I understand everything. But in this other world where I have to say like, oh, like this is happening, blah, 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 I have to like, I'm being very vague and everything. Sorry. I have to put together, I'll put together more. I'll put together something because what I'm saying that. Yeah, fuck.
And his body language here, this is extremely high stress body language from Destiny. When you have a problem on your mind, you typically rest your head on both of your hands, because you're heavy. Your thoughts are so heavy. You're like literally like holding yourself up with both hands. And then earlier in the stream, you see he was biting on his thumb as well, because he's in a high stress situation right now. Look at that. But like, duh. If you marry a whore, like what were you expecting? This is like picking up a rattlesnake and then the rattlesnake biting you, and you have to amputate your fucking leg before you die. And you're like, I don't get it. I don't get it. What happened? Like, you picked up a rattlesnake, you stupid motherfucker. That's what happened. Like, it's not that complicated. It is
Shut up and take my money.
The good things in life are simple to understand. And in this situation, it's just very, very, very simple. Do not get involved and or marry women with mental problems. And being extremely promiscuous is a symptom of something broken in a woman's psychology. Okay. And typically it's some kind of SA in their past, or some kind of unresolved trauma, and that they use sex and all these things to cope with it. Right. And I'm telling you, man, if you look at red flags and you think, no, not me. Okay. I can beat this. Me and my magic dick, I can beat this. I could be the one to conquer this woman. I can change her. You're just as delusional as those women that get made fun of on the Fresh and Fit podcast for being delusional. You as a man are equally delusional. Okay. So you have to remember that you're not the exception. You are the rule. Okay. Shout out to Viking Paradigm. He says, with a $10 super chat, MLD, you are so right. Frame/mindset is everything. You'll get hate for it, but that just lets you know who your real friends and loved ones are. I could never thank you enough for teaching me this. Thank you very much, my friend. Great to have you on there. So it is really important to have frame. That's why I added it to, the core. You remember, you used to be been following me. Used to be just me money muscles game, but then I realized I would teach these dudes to get money, muscles, and game, but then they had no frame, and they would just they're just high value guys that are getting used. I'm like, okay, we've got to add frame to this, and then everybody copied me, and that's okay because I'm the gift that keeps on giving. I am the Leonardo da Vinci of our times when it comes to masculine self-development. There's no better recipe right here. There's no simpler, better recipe than Money Muscles Game Frame to turn your life around and actually ascend your value as an individual and become the high value man that you want to be. There is no better one. There is no second best. Okay. Let's continue here. And if you guys want to send a super chat, go ahead and send a super chat to get your questions answered. This is a long stream, so buckle up. Okay. Roll up that next blunt, load up the bong. Okay. Crack a cold one, whatever you're doing on this Saturday night, because we're going to educate you properly. Triple Chain MLD is in the house, and we're gonna rock this bad boy out. And I'm gonna teach you guys as much as possible. Also, you can send the donations with the Streamlabs direct donation, because YouTube takes a brutal 30% when you send a super chat like this, for example. So Viking Paragon, I'm only gonna get like $6.48 of this, and then they're gonna pay it to me next month. But if you send a direct donation, I get I get like 96% of the money, and then it's immediately sent to me, and I can put it on the screen and read what you said as well. Billy, go ahead and put that super chat link for Streamlabs in the chat right there, and let's continue here. And any questions you guys have, seriously, let me know, because I want to break it down fully. I'm doing he kind of tails off at the end, but we're at the 10-minute mark, and we have an hour and 18 minutes left to go.
Has it shifted your perspective about the Bob 7 stuff at all now? No, Bob 7 was also a piece of shit who was talking mad shit about me behind the scenes. I don't even know to this day if I've ever publicly revealed why I knew he was talking so much shit about me, but it wasn't all through Melina. There was a lot of stuff that I knew he was saying about me behind the scenes. It wasn't even all Melina on that. Destiny, this is giving me I am such an empath vibes. Usually people who say they are pushovers in a relationship are the ones doing the pushing. I agree with you. I agree with you 1,000,000%. And listen, if at the end of the day, you don't believe any of the shit I'm saying, then go for it. Knock stuff out. I don't listen, yeah, believe what you want. Didn't we know the Bosnians? It was more than that. It was people that were never brought up even. Yeah. The thing that I'm trying to skirt the line right now on, because I know like a year from now, or actually a couple months from now, why did you let Darius get dragged if he wasn't lying about the Mel situation? Because it just wasn't. I usually don't intervene in other people's shit when it's personal, because I don't want to drag like personal stuff. Like I argued with Mel behind the scenes, and I think I talked to Darius behind the scenes. But when two people are fighting personally, like if Erudite and someone else, or like Nick and somebody else have fight, like I'm not going to sit here and bring out like the private, like, well, didn't you see this privately? It's just not my place to do it. It's not. I never feel like it's my place to do it. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Does a therapist know about that trait, talking shit to other people in Mel? Yeah, of course. It was one of the huge things that would come up over and over and over again. But she always had like an excuse for everything.
There he is, biting his thumb again. Talk about the therapy. And that's another thing too. If you're having to go to like traditional therapy for your relationship, it's like putting a Band-Aid on cancer. Like you just have to cut it out, bro. Like I agree with giving it a try, but then you have to also understand if it's traditional therapy, and it's deemed by the American Psychological Association, the APA, if the person is a practitioner with this certain board of licensing, they're going to demonize you as a man. Like it is a femme-centric way of looking at relationships, and there's virtually no accountability given to the woman, and these things are crazily expensive, and the success rate is abysmal, because look at the divorce rate in the United States of America. Okay, there's that. And there you go. If you want to take send a chat here, Billy, you need to change that to, it says YouTube takes 30%. So just put change that. So because people are going to think that YouTube takes 30% of that Streamlabs link there. Change that for me, Billy. Thank you so much.
I'm just trying to think like where I want to, because there's just like one or two quick things or whatever, and then I might I'll probably do a more comprehensive thing. Why do you think that she isn't going to leak or talk shit? Melina will not leak or talk shit about any of this because she knows that everything about this makes her look like a satanic demon. She knows that. She's threatened it a million times, like, I'm gonna start leaking everything. Oh, yeah, let's go. Okay, if you really want to, holy, because my reputation is already zero in regards to our relationship. Everything's a horrible piece of shit. We want to start leaking shit. We can do it. She knows that she looks horrible.
That's terrible. That's awful that his friends have turned on him, quite frankly. But that just lets you know, like, what kind of people are just like in his life that are actually not friends. No more like clout demons and shit like that. Lorenzo Ramon says lost respect for Sneeko or Destiny and Sneeko when they straight up trolled Rolo on Fresh and Fit. They sounded like they were in high school. Well, I mean, there was a redemption where it was Rolo Tomasi and Michael Sartain debating Destiny, and Rolo completely wiped the floor with him. Like I told Rolo behind the scenes, I was like, that was redemption Tomasi. I was like, that was Rolo redemption Tomasi. And Rolo wiped the floor with him. And then now what? Who's laughing now? Whose theory was right in the end? You know?
And her reputation has always been spotless insofar as like relationships is going. Like, she knows that. That's why her and Tim were like, wow, we're going to talk about we're right. No, you're not. Shit, you know you're not. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. The only things that I want to do though is I want to make sure that like I don't want to be thought of as a liar. That irritates me. I don't like the idea that the impression is that like I'm an abusive person, and I want to give like a very broad accounting of like things that have happened because I don't like the impressions that exist with me, like relating to a lot of stuff. But what I have to like be careful about is I don't want it to be like I hate Melina, which I do, by the way. That bitch. She has everything that's coming to her. Thank God. But I don't want it to be like, because I hate her, now we're leaking 6 hours of like our private life to make her look bad. That's not like my goal. And that's not even for her. I don't care about it. It's just, it reflects more like me. And it's not like the character that, I don't think it's becoming of like high character. Yeah. So I have to like sort through like what I want to do on that.
Yeah.
You said that Melina was scheming. Why did you want to briefly hold on to the relationship last week? So what am I looking for? God, just making sure I'm not like, end up saying something I don't want to ever elaborate on later on. What happened over the last couple of days? So, fuck. What am I?
Yeah. He says, I hate that bitch. Bro needs to get a hold of himself. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think me personally too, and this is from an objective standpoint, I think that Destiny has a lot of internal work he needs to do too. Cause he's consistently using drugs. He's he's entertaining this kind of toxicity in a relationship as well. And I just don't see any semblance of an emotionally mature person who has the ability to handle a relationship, because they get into it a little bit later. You find out why she actually married him, and it's all transactional. It's not from love. It's nothing. And here we are.
What made you believe Melina over Darius when they had their drama? Did you just take Melina straight face value? What? No, I never believe Melina. That's why I didn't say shit about it publicly. I don't shit to say. I let them fight over it. That was also their fight too. Yeah, I want to. Yeah. Oh God, I shouldn't have said anything. No, I guess. Basically, okay. So here's like, I'll give you this is like the really, really broad macro, and then I'll figure out how I want to like talk about this, because it's probably, when I do this, it's gonna be like an hour or at the most talk, and then I'm moving on from this. Okay, this is gonna be some huge back and forth fucking leak war. But something that I've said is that for a long time, because of my background and everything, I try to assume all the responsibility for everything, because if there's a problem and I can't fix it, then I just say, okay. In some ways, it's really beneficial for work. In some ways, it's really not beneficial, like personal relationships, because sometimes it's hard for me to assign accountability, or it's hard for me to realize like, okay, well, I'm putting in like 99% of the effort here, and they're putting in 1%. Like, I need more. This is not like an equitable exchange of who's trying to make like a particular thing work. It was a huge problem that I ran into with Melina.
And that's another thing too, right? When you are with a woman who is like kind of like her, a leech, a social leech, because that's what she is. She's like a parasite. She latches on to a host and pulls as much resources out of that host as possible, and then detaches, while killing the host, and then going on to her next victim. And Melina didn't have a brand until Destiny put her on. Destiny is the reason why Melina has a brand. She did not build it on her own. Destiny has a fucking massive following, guys. He has a gigantic cult following. And I've even met some of his fucking weird ass fans in Tokyo. And they're all soy. I met them. I was just like, Jesus Christ, you guys follow this dude. They all took the vax. They all look like if I breathed heavy on them, they'd fall over. But that being said, that whole gigantic simp soy army that he has, was able to fuel and lift up Melina to the point that she has her own independent brand. But now that she is detached from Destiny, 1000%, guys, watch, Melina's just gonna spiral down into irrelevancy, and I'm gonna love every moment of it.
The two things I was like balancing my head on was, or trying to balance my head was, either like Melina is like this really kind of like toxic, manipulative, like piece of shit who's like super self-centered and is like actually about as smart as I thought she was, and is like really good at kind of like aiming in intelligent directions and being like manipulative and doing things like for reasons that make sense. Or on the other end, she's just like, she's still growing, she's like emotionally developing. Some other person is like kind of with her mind.
Cope. No. You don't grow out of being an evil person. If you're doing shit that's evil and manipulative like that's who you are. And she's like, even now in this situation, she could look internally and be like, okay, what's going on with me? How can I change? What can I do to change and become a better person? No, what is she doing? She's blame shifting and dumping on him.
I need more. This is not like an equitable exchange of who's trying to make like a particular thing work. That was a huge problem that I ran into with Melina. The two things I was like balancing my head on was, or trying to balance my head was, either like Melina is like this really kind of like toxic, manipulative, like piece of shit who's like super self-centered and is like actually about as smart as I thought she was, and is like really good at kind of like aiming in intelligent directions and being like manipulative and doing things like for reasons that make sense. Or on the other end, she's just like, she's still growing, she's like emotionally developing. Some other person is like kind of with her mind a lot and like confusing her on a lot of things, and she just needs time to like sort stuff out, and she's just kind of like easy to take advantage of for blah, 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 blah. So I was kind of like rotating between these two worlds. I think on December 7th, Melina and I had another conversation here, and that conversation ended
right there. That's also a pretty massive tell. The fact that he can immediately right off rip in his mind say, yeah, on December 7th, X, Y, and Z happened. And he's not looking at a calendar or anything. He knows exactly when it happened. He's deep in the trenches too with this chick. I think he was married to her for 5 years. They were together for 5 years or something. So it's a long time. But again, the chickens come home to roost when you betray your frame, betray yourself.
Horribly. I was beyond triggered. And I told her she had to pack her shit and get the fuck out. By the time I got home on the 9th, she needed to be going with all of her shit. I didn't want to see her again. I needed to get the fuck out. So that was the night that I started. I had a short conversation with her in DMs. One of the things I hate the most is that like, Melina is so smart what she's trying to be. And I give her props for it, okay? I am unhinged, okay? That night on the 7th, I'm literally like, I'm off, okay? I'm completely gone at the seams. And then I start DMing her. And these are rough DMs, okay? I'm like, you selfish piece of shit, blah, 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 blah. And all of her responses to me are like really cold, pretty loving, in like a cold, detached way, very logical. And she's also like denying some things that like she's fessed up to in the past. And I'm just like, you obviously don't, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm like.
So right there, as soon as he said this too, this is, understanding things from a third party's perspective. So he says she and him are text messaging, and he said he's going unhinged. So he's losing emotional control over the text message, and she's being very calm. She's being, he says, borderline loving. And then she's denying things right off rip. I think, okay, she's going to screenshot these texts and leak them and show them to people. And look what he says.
I remember thinking at the end of this conversation, like, this conversation looks unhinged. I look like a crazy person. But whatever, we do that shit. I don't want to go to sleep because I don't even want to see her. And then I start like typing shit in chat, which I shouldn't have because I was stupid. I just start like typing shit, leak shit. I shouldn't be saying anything because I should take time to calm down and blah, blah, blah. And then afterwards I fly off to, where do I go? I go to LA to hang out with a friend. And then I do 2 shows. What am I doing? I'm doing Jubilee, and I'm doing that Whatever podcast. And while I'm there, I've got like, I think 2 days separation between us. At this point, for the first time in my life, now I'm soliciting feedback from a ton of people to try to like adjust like my priors and try to figure out like what's going on, blah, blah, blah. At this point, I send like a huge apologetic message to Mel saying, listen, I shouldn't have leaked anything at all. I understand I make your life difficult right now. I'm being really unhinged. I think she had me blocked on all the socials at this point. So I passed the message to, like, listen, like, I understand you can keep me blocked for as long as you need. If you want to reconnect or chat, we can like figure things out, or not, like whatever you're comfortable with. I understand, blah, blah, blah. That was like my message to her. Then I came back to the US, and then I had a meeting with Stacy, our therapist, because I'm trying to figure out, like, I can't tell because Melina always tells me, like, I love you, I'm trying to work on this, let's do what we can, blah, blah, blah. And then all of our mutual friends are like, oh no, Melina loves you, Melina really does, she's trying to blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, man, a lot of the actions, like, they're really hard to believe. I was like, well, that's because you've been so mean to her. It's like, okay, well, she does like a lot of really shit. Like, yeah, but that's because of you. And it's like, okay, maybe, but like some of this is really hard to explain. Well, that's because of 5 years of trauma. It's like, okay, maybe, I guess. Right, it's all good. So I talked to Stacy, and Stacy's like, yeah, like, you should aim for this outcome instead of like f***ing everything up and then doing this outcome. And I'm like, okay. I have like a 3-hour meeting with her. I have like a 2-hour call with a friend. And I have my shit ready to go. I already had the manifesto made. I've already got everything typed and ready to go. I typed it the night that on the 7th when I told you, I already had everything put together. And then I come home and I look at it. I'm like, okay, fine. Take a deep breath. She's still your wife. Let's chill. And then I do the cuck stream. Okay. Come on. And I say, I shouldn't have leaked anything, which is true. I shouldn't have, because I wasn't like in the right headspace for it. I say I shouldn't have leaked anything. You chill. Yeah. And I think I just fix like apologetic. I leave the door open. You know, if Melina wants to connect again, that's fine, blah, 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 blah. And then I stop. And then we go stream, we do whatever. After this,
your relationship is not something to be broadcasted to the whole world, man or woman, guys. Both parties. It just gets messy. It gets messy. But when you do it, I get endless amounts of content. So do what you got to do, but not necessarily the greatest thing to do, in my opinion.
I noticed a few passive aggressive, I think tweets or something from Melina. If you guys ever wonder why I have such good relationship advice, because I know every mistake to make, I make all of them simultaneously. So obviously, I've created dummy social media accounts to follow everything just to see what's going on. Obviously, okay, yeah, I know all the unhealthy tricks, okay, because I do them, okay. So yeah,
and if you're stalking your ex girlfriend with fake social media accounts, like, look, I know why you do it. But I will say George Lucas gave some great advice on relationship. He says, every time, if you make it a cut from a relationship, right? Every time you go and look back on that relationship, you're just reopening the wound. You know, let her go. It's over. You know, like Kanye West said, right? Rocket ships don't have rearview mirrors. Right? You can't keep on looking past. You can't keep looking behind you. And even if bad things happen to you, right, you have to just let go of it, and you got to move on, because, you know, this is just going to hurt you. Like, and it's hard to do. It is hard to do. Don't get me wrong. I understand, but ultimately it's not good for you, and he should just move on from it. You know, I understand to a certain degree why he would do it, because he is potentially monitoring her for brand damage against him, but he has such a gigantic brand. I mean, Destiny's going to continue to grow, and you know, just let her do what she's doing, which is self-destructing and self-sabotaging. You know, she's not going to get, especially after this, who you think she's going to get some high value dude? You think some dude is going to look at Melina and be like, okay, yeah, this is a solid bet. Like a guy who's like, you know, successful, at least millionaire. No, he's not. And she knows how to hunt and find psychologically weak men. And that's what these, you know, these parasitic type of women do. They find like an unsuspecting guy that she has like way higher levels of game than him. And then she begins the extraction process. And that's what they do, because they're resource extractors, women like her.
Yeah, I'm following, keep tabs on everything. Let's see what are we tweeting about? What are we storing about? And I see like a few, I see a few passive aggressive messages like, man, feels so good to be back in. You know, like, okay, whatever, bitch. Okay. But that's fine. I say my piece, it's whatever. We do my birthday party thing. I'm chilling. Okay. No happy birthday from Mel. Stings a little bit, but you know, maybe she doesn't remember my birthday. It's all good.
That's in that right there too, you know, no happy birthday, you know, sitting around waiting for that happy birthday. You don't get it. You know, and this whole relationship drama is going down as well. You know, it's just like, you know, if a girl is like, if you spent like a decent amount of your life with a woman and you break up with her, and the relationship's like still pretty fresh, and then she doesn't like, you know, say, hey, you know, despite things, you know, I want to tell you happy birthday. You know, it's kind of it is a dick move. It is a dick move, and you know, yeah, she's just gonna, like I said, she's gonna continue to devolve as a content creator, and she's gonna get more desperate for views and do more and more provocative things. She's already. I just opened her Instagram. She's already maxing. Let me show you. Hilarious. But like, again, you know, what do you expect when you get into a relationship with a chick like this, who on the first instance cheated on her boyfriend literally right in front of the guy? So here she is. This is her Instagram. And then, you know, there's that. There's here. Look at me. Doesn't look. I'll tell you this, boys. She doesn't look like this in real life at all. This is max filter, And then here she is posting, you know, on the 20th. Ho, ho, ho. Yep. What a. Then there she is. There's her Fansly. So you can sign up and get some behind the scenes footage and get some spicy content so you can jerk off to and then accelerate your financial ruin and psychological ruin and the health of your dick and, you know, your self-esteem. So there it is. Fansly, 50% off all. I'm getting desperate. 50% off. You know, hilarious. Hilarious, hilarious, hilarious. Continue to beg for money as you sell your body. Do it, girl. You are in total control of your life. I'm just gonna start selling my nudes. How much can I get them for, boys?
And then I think I'm chilling. I'm okay at this point. I left Mel in a good spot. I go to stream. I think we're just streaming. I got like friends that are coming over. Everything's cool. And then we start rolling. And this is when I find out a lot of people start messaging me things. And then I'm getting like messages from things that she's seen other people. And these messages are like, I'm so glad I got out of there. I never want to go back to this horrible thing, blah, blah, blah. I realized how much of an abuser he is. He was always like this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm seeing some of these messages. And this was in response to the cuck stream I did, where she was like, he shouldn't have even done anything. And I can't believe that he even went live again and tried to make everybody sympathetic for him. I'm like, the fuck? And then after this shit, I start getting it. I'm like, okay, hold on. Do you remember when Sansa says to Littlefinger, she's like, when she uses his game against him, she's like, sometimes when people, whatever, I like to play a little game or whatever to like assume the worst intentions. So then I like go back and like, okay, let's pretend that like my original hunch on how Mel was moving for the past 2 months, what if that was like actually true? And then when I go back and I retrofit on everything, every single action that I thought she was doing for a particular reason, everything makes sense. I'm like, this is me for letting every person talk me out of this initial assessment of things where, because I realized like, I'm still being kind of vague. I'll figure out how much more I say this in a future thing. Sorry. I'm just getting to today. Past all of that, once I see that now she's like reached out to God knows how many people, even a therapist. No, I'm not going to argue my therapist, but yeah, once I see that she's reached out to God knows how many mutual friends, everybody in Sweden probably thinks I'm like an abusive, horrible piece of shit. And I'm like, okay, I don't even know. What do I do past this point? Let's see, that would have been 14th, 15th. What have we done the past few days? I think I just stream. I think I feel good again. I feel good after I see those messages. Oh, I remember what I do. I see those messages. And as soon as I see that, I think it was on the 13th, I'm like, okay, this, run to the attorney and I say, divorce papers, print them up. And then, I tell Mel, these need to be signed by Monday, end of day, or shit is going to get catastrophic. We're done. Sign the shit, give me the here. So that's what happens in the background for that. So we do, papers are signed, notarized, all that shit. And then papers are filed. Court accepted everything. And then the next, let's see. I'll say that today, Melina reaches out to me for the first time in like 10 days, okay? 12 days, okay? Because she's blocking everything. And now she's like, oh, we should talk. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. We hop into a call. And I think like the first thing I say is like, listen, if you want to argue or have a chat about anything, that's fine. However, one of the things that, okay, let me give this piece of advice to people, okay? And I fully admit I might just be really Death Note brained or debate brained or attorney brained or internet drama brained, or I don't know, okay? So I'm giving you this warning, okay? I'm giving you this warning for this piece of advice, okay? I'm so tired in my life of people weaponizing feeling statements against me, and I'm so fucking tired of friends both sides saying our disagreements, because a lot of the disagreements that me and Melina will have or have had historically are statements of fact. There's no room for disagreement here. And I hate how many people will say things like, well, I understand you said this, but she feels this way, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, we're not arguing about feeling right here. This is like a true or false fact. I don't understand how we're having both sides perspective on this, okay? Record shit, log shit, have shit. Don't let people do that to you, okay? Don't let, and I'm not even saying they're gaslighting. They're just trying to be understanding of both sides. But like, it is important to establish like a fact pattern before you develop like narratives and feelings and opinions. Okay, that's really important. I've gotten a lot better at that, especially over the past 2 weeks. Holy shit. Well, in regards to my relationship, for everything else, obviously I'm fine with this. But just in my relationship, I was like super blinders on for this. But yeah, so basically, Melina reaches out to me, we have a call, and she basically tells me that I owe her for money for her apartment, and that if I want to do what's moral, because I made her leave the United States and pay to fly all of her shit back, that I should pay her like $100,000. And I'm like, you're out of your mind.
You can deny the red pill, but
you could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
Back to me. It always comes up. And there is the coup de grace. Now she's saying, because, you know, and this is every little manipulative trick that he taught her, now she's using against him. Because a lot of their argument is like from a supposed moral superiority standpoint, right? They're just like, oh yeah, we have the moral high ground in their debates, and they debate in bad faith too. And now she's using the exact same trick that he uses on him, and she's saying, you have to do what's right. Because if you don't know, Melina has not been paying her taxes accurately in Sweden, right? She's been doing some kind of, improper tax filings to the extent that the Swedish government seized her passport and took her passport away, and she got trapped in Sweden. So that's why she's not been back to the States since then. I'm pretty sure, double check me on that, but I'm pretty sure she has. I think that was like the catalyst to this whole situation. Is she got trapped in Sweden, and then, if a woman really loves you, distance is not a problem. But this girl didn't love him, bro. This girl, she loved the opportunity he presented, right? And a lot of guys, when you become successful too, you don't start to, you get blinded by the fact that you can't really see the fact that sometimes women are just into you for the things you have and not actually into you for you. And it's painful as a guy to see that. I have seen that before. I've seen when I had like my, super baller penthouse over here in Tokyo, that certain girls, like, a big reason why I was able to retain them a little bit longer is because I had a really baller place. And hey, it is what it is. I got mine out of her. But you want to be the man. You want to feel like, she likes me just for me, not all the shit that I have. And it's a painful red pill to take, but it is what it is. And it's hard to differentiate from that, especially when you have a fan base and people cheering you online. It's very hard for you to see reality. Okay. And that's a problem there. Yeah. So let's just continue on here.
And the way that this conversation starts is, and this is the funniest thing. Initially, she like sent this message through a mutual, and then I responded back, and I was like, oh no, like maybe Tim can get a job, and you guys can work for this money. Good luck. I was very passive aggressive. I admit that. I sent a really nasty message when she asked me for that.
That's funny.
For disagreement here. And I hate how many people will say things like, well, I understand you said this, but she feels this way, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, we're not arguing about feeling right here. This is like a true or false fact. I don't understand how we're having a both sides perspective on this, okay? Record shit, log shit, have shit. Don't let people do that to you, okay? And I'm not even saying they're gas.
He's learning.
They're just trying to be understanding of both sides. But like, it is important to establish like a fact pattern before you develop like narratives and feelings and opinions. Okay, that's really important. I've gotten a lot better at that, especially over the past 2 weeks. Holy shit. Well, in regards to my relationship, for everything else, obviously I'm fine with this. But just in my relationship, I was like super blinders on for this. But yeah, so basically, Melina reaches out to me, we have a call, and she basically tells me that I owe her for money for her apartment, and that if I want to do what's moral, because I made her leave the United States and pay to fly all of her shit back, that I should pay her like $100,000. And I'm like, you're out of your mind. And the way that this conversation starts is, and this is the funniest thing. Initially, she like sent this message through a mutual, and then I responded back, and I was like, oh no, like maybe Tim can get a job, and you guys can work for this money. Good luck. I was very passive aggressive. I admit that. I sent a really nasty message when she asked me for that. Just to be clear, it was like, hey, remember you told me you don't care about the money, you don't care about my help, you don't care about me doing taxes, you don't care about any of that shit. All you want is somebody to cuddle with you for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Well, there you go. I got it. Good luck. Figure it out. I'm sure you guys will. Power of love will help you with your paperwork 100%. Okay, because the only thing that matters. Remember, it's the only thing that matters in life. I was super passive aggressive in that message, but then when the call starts, Melina's like, this call starts. She's like, I just want to know where you're at. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, I want to know where you're at because of that message you sent 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, well, I'm at the message that I sent 1 hour ago. And yeah, we argue for a bit about this. And then it's just like a 40-minute call of, and now that I've like grown into like Neo when it comes to our relationship, now I can see like every single lie and every single like pivot and every single attempt, like every single thing. I'm like, well, do you have a log for that? Or can you prove that? Or can you show that this happened? Because I have a whole bunch of stuff that says the exact opposite. And it was just like lie after lie after lie for things that I've let her lie about in our entire relationship. It drove me insane. Yeah, and it felt good. It felt good to pick the bullets out of the air. Again, I'm not gonna like dive into like everything, but I'll say, for instance, one thing, because this was kind of public already.
So he is kind of alluding to, he has kind of been a little bit red pilled on it. And it's good that he's learning. Ultimately, it's good that he's learning from this. So he can't go out there because he has a giant platform. And you know how many dudes have probably got into like toxic relationships with crappy women because they looked up to this guy as a role model? Not good, man. So it's good that he's red pilling his audience.
Something that I've said about Melina is that Melina emotionally rewrites everything. So for instance, now when she talks to people about me, I've always been an abuser. I've always been a horrible person, blah, 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 blah. She emotionally rewrites the history with everybody based on her current state, or she'll rewrite the facts based on her current emotional state. So one of the things Melina starts telling me is like, you owe me this because I abandoned all of my stuff in Sweden for you. And it's not fair that like I moved to the US and gave so much, I abandoned so much in Sweden for you. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You abandoned New Zealand for me. And she's like, no, I abandoned Sweden. I couldn't go back after I blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, you hated Sweden and you abandoned New Zealand. I know this, and then I start pulling logs from the first year of our relationship, because the first year or two of our relationship, all of the fighting was over her not wanting to leave New Zealand and hating Sweden and then having to come to the United States. And there's so many logs of that. There were even logs when she went back to Sweden. She's like, I hate it here. I hate Sweden. It's such a horrible place. And then when we would fight, she's like, I can't believe you pulled me away from my dream place of New Zealand. And she's like, well, that's not true. I married you so that we could be together in the United States. I was like, Melina, you were engaged to a guy in New Zealand 2 weeks after you went down there. Okay.
So there's another thing. She was engaged to the guy down in New Zealand. They were engaged, and she cheated on the guy she was engaged with Destiny. So again, when a woman, okay, let alone, let's just, I'll use this context and then I'll extrapolate a little bit further. Okay. But if a woman is going to do some sort of treachery to another man that she is in a supposedly loving relationship with, okay? In this situation, she was engaged to a man, sleeping with this man, you know, they're telling each other, I love you and all this shit. And then she's willing to go and have sex with another man right in front of you, as they did in that hotel room. What makes you think that she won't do that to you? But again, guys get ego. They think, oh, that can't happen to me. I'm me. Because everybody thinks they're amazing. Everybody thinks they're an exception to the rule. Everybody thinks they're better than everybody in some way, shape, or form. And when you let your ego take a hold of you in this circumstance, are you really surprised that that this happened the way it happened? Right? Because you have to judge a person by their actions. And if she's willing to do that to somebody, she's willing to do that to you. And here's a red pill for you guys. If somebody will gossip and talk about other people to you, then they will gossip and talk about you to other people. If they gossip with you, they will gossip about you. Okay. So if you have people that are always coming up to you and giving you dirty laundry and other people, then you got to know, if you expose your dirty laundry to that person, they're going to go out and start running their mouth too. Okay. You're not exception to the rule. These people aren't as good hearted as you, and they don't have your best interests in mind. Okay. So in this circumstance here, she was engaged to that guy. She had sex with Destiny, and she thought, okay, Destiny's higher value. She probably saw that she could manipulate Destiny, and she jumped boat. And then now here's Destiny again, and he got the boat jumped on him.
Everybody thinks that like I cucked her out of Max or whatever. Melina was engaged to another guy, and then she also was dating Max. There's a whole other guy that was involved there. I don't know if he ever just brought up, by the way. But
Max is the weak dude. Sorry, she wasn't engaged to him, but she was engaged to the third party guy. But my principles still stand.
Whatever, run with your assumptions. But yeah, I was like, Melina, you got engaged with this guy immediately, so you could live in New Zealand forever. That's what I always thought about. And she was trying to say that you pulled me away. So like, bro, you never liked Sweden. You're like, this is a new thing that you decided because now you've got like a new group of friends in Sweden, and now you're going to say that like you've loved Sweden the whole time, and like blah 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 blah. But that's like, yeah, that was just like one example. It was like 45 minutes of her trying to lie. I would say probably gaslight. I think it's accurate here. She's trying to make me misremember events so that she can manipulate it for her purpose, so that she can like win an argument. But I'm just like, at every point, I'm like, well, do you have a log for this? Well, can you show me this? Do you have any proof for this? Because I've got a bunch of stuff that says the opposite. And then we've got a third party in the call, and she's like, well, what do you think about this? Like, shut up, Steven. Don't shut up. And obviously the other third party is like, well, I don't know. Like, Melina, do you have like a log or anything else or whatever? And then Melina's like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Clearly he's made up his mind. And I'm like, okay. She says it like 50 times. I don't want to talk about this anymore. This is clearly over. And I'm like, okay. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Unreal. Unbelievable shit. What was I thinking of? Yeah. And then her conversation, like unhinged. She's like, this is why you surround yourself with people that just suck up to you all day, and nobody challenges you on anything, and you're emotionally stunted child, and you don't understand how any blah blah blah, and like even
that's like massive projection. That's everything she's doing.
And Stacy says this about you, and she has said that like you're a horrible person. She knows that I'm right about everything, but I'm like, no. Good one, Chief. I'm like, Jesus. But anyway, that was today. Christ. Why does she need the money? That'll probably never come up because that's just not my place to say. But hopefully the other guy can go get a job and they can work and be happy. And yeah, I explained the best. Is your money safe? Yeah, my shit is fine. Paperwork's already filed with the court. Even if it wasn't, even if she wanted to fight for it, which I can't imagine she would. I live in Florida. It's a low cost, or not low cost. It's a short-term marriage, less than 10 years. And Florida's laws are already disfavorable towards short-term marriages. Plus you hit him with the infidelity thing. Plus she didn't make any sacrifices to her career. We don't have any joint assets. We don't have any kids. Like the likelihood of like, even if she wanted to fight and like splurge like 50K for a lawyer, there's just not much there. I already called and consulted with 3 different lawyers prior to doing anything to make sure that like, do you think that like blah, blah, blah? And she's like, no, she's still been working. She's earned more money over and over again, but like, there's no shot. Yeah. But damn. Are you still getting paid back for the tax stuff? Despite everybody telling me one thing, I do trust my gut sometimes. the day before we went into therapy, I had like a 15-page document that I made to get ready for therapy, to go over everything. But the morning of, I was like,
bro, if you're dating a girl and you need to fucking have like a 15-page document of like problems that you want to review in the relationship, like, dude, you just walk away. There are healthy women out there. There are healthy people out there. Work on yourself. Ask yourself, what did I do to attract this devil into my life? What is wrong with me? Take accountability. Say, how did I let this happen? How did I allow myself to be entangled with such a person that is causing such turmoil in our relationship that we have to go to therapy and I need to print out a 15-page document? Please, have we lost all levels of just common sense here? If it's that difficult, it's not worth it. And if it's not getting better, you got to get out. Like, you give it a good college try, but if she's not making some serious changes, like 6 months maximum, 6 months is a fucking stretch. You need to start seeing some improvement, like 1 month into you, like telling her like, this is a certain way we got to do things. And you got to see her marching to a different tune. Cause if not, well, you know, you're gonna end up like this.
like, let's go to the bank and get my money back. Because I don't think this is gonna help. I was so right on that. Thank God. Thank Christ. Oh. So I got my money back. How's that guy broke? A famous TikToker? Don't they at least get high-paying sponsors and brand deals? Maybe, but the problem is he was famous like a year or two ago, and 10-year-olds don't have the most disposable income. So, yeah, but I think that's all I got for now. I think we're good for now. There's no way you drove to the bank to get your money back for a therapy session? Correct. We walked. What about the meme tick streams in Swedish? I think that he just streamed and he said that like there were lies about the logs that I released. Oh, okay. I'll say this much too, because that came up in the comment today. Because I was curious, like, why are you telling people that I'm lying about things? She's like, because you've been lying about everything. I'm like, okay, both of us have known. It's like standing in an elevator with one other person farting and saying you did it. Like, what do you think I'm lying about? And Melina's argument was that I lied about paying for rent for her other boyfriend that she moved in without telling me. And she wouldn't let me explain anything because she just kept screaming at me. I was like, okay, blah, blah, blah. So technically, Melina is correct in that. And technically, you could say that that's a lie. I didn't actually pay for that apartment. But I'm pretty sure what I even said, I think when I was leaking logs in chat, was I'm talking about the fungibility of money. What I'm saying is that, I think I might have even said this in chat, is that if Melina lives in America for free and I pay for everything here, and then Melina goes to Sweden and she uses her money to pay for another person to live with her, well, it kind of feels like I'm paying for that guy. That's kind of the feeling that I got.
And he was. So think about this. Not like and this is the level of like finesse that these women can pull off on people, bro. Destiny was paying for her apartment that she was with the new boyfriend in.
Uh-oh, retard alert.
Bro, if I am with a woman and you have been blessed by me to pay for your apartment, which that's a minimum 5-year commitment that I need to see from you before I start paying for your apartment. Not a single man will step foot onto that sacred ground. Okay. Not a single man. Even if it's a repairman for the washing machine, I will be there. I will be there to supervise what is going on in the establishment that I am financing. Okay. Hell no. Hell no. I can't even, that for me, I can't even believe that. But dude is paying for the apartment. I mean, it's just, I can't even fathom it. I cannot even fathom. I cannot believe people are doing it. It's bad out here, bros. It is bad out here. It is bad out here, bro. Just because a lot of people think just because somebody has clout and or money that they're automatically like red pilled and based and fucking, and that is just the furthest thing from the truth, bro. Oh boy. He's down bad, bros. He's down bad.
Because of the fungibility of money. I'm pretty sure I even said that as much in the chat logs, but she was like, you lied about that. Probably to try to make it sound like I lied about everything. Which, yeah. But anyway. Yeah, I think, Yeah, I think that's like all I want to say.
No.
Oh, I see meme ticks in chat. Somebody. Oh, you might be watching me right now. How's it going? I'm trying to be as respectful as I can as a human being. Okay, it's hard. It's a hard. I'm Vyvanse out. That's the real reason. Thank God for these ADHD drugs. Because if I wasn't on Vyvanse, oh man, dude, that manifesto I put together like a week and a half ago, that was some spicy shit. I would have filled that shit the fuck out. It would have gone hard. I'm chilling, just trying to like be a chill guy, figure my shit out. Okay. You said you'd be okay expressing things that are big changes you want in a relationship. Would you still be okay sharing it? No, because it's not like really gay shit. Like every boundary, every new thing that I had is like stuff that's like so embarrassing to enunciate. I don't even know if I would ever say it with a new partner. Like one of the boundaries that I had set was that like it cannot be that you can never relationship dump or vent every one of our problems onto a mutual friend ever again. That was like one of the new boundaries. Like I don't even want to say that. That's embarrassing. I shouldn't even have to.
So here's the thing. Now he just clearly said that he feels uncomfortable about his boundaries, right? But that's again that's connected to low self-esteem. Okay. You have to have a ridiculous amount of self-love for yourself to firmly have boundaries and then enforce boundaries, because boundaries cannot have any meaning if you do not enforce them. And I'm not telling you like grab somebody by the neck and be like, submit to my demands. But when somebody violates a boundary that you have, the only person who's going to uphold that boundary is you. And if you got a girl, okay, because women can know what your woman knows you, right? Your woman knows what she doesn't. Your woman knows what you like and what you don't like, right? And if your woman sees somebody else punking you on your frame, part of her is going to be like, you know, because women are risk averse. She's going to be like, damn, bro, I'm with this dude. He's kind of a fucking pussy. Like, he let this person talk to him like that. He didn't tell the waiter to change the fucking bill because the fucking food was wrong, and now we got to pay extra money, and this guy's a fucking pussy. And that fucking little reptile brain of hers starts calculating up the stem and starts rationalizing why you're not a good choice for her. I'm telling you, you got to level up in today's world. There's no choice, guys. There's no choice.
To say that. It's just like embarrassing to say. I remember like 3 or 4 weeks ago when I was trying to write out like, okay, well, if I continue my relationship with Mel, like what are the boundaries that have to change going forward? And I was trying to like write these things down. There was a friend that I was talking that I spoke with a lot on this. And as we were writing these down, she'd like slap me, okay? As I'm like through like boundary 2. She's like, this is like the dumbest shit I've ever seen you write in my entire life. I was like, and then she's like, write these like you were suggesting to somebody else. I'm like, okay, you're right.
See? So another thing, a woman that loves you, when she sees you writing, because what happened is I think throughout the relationship, he kind of got a little bit more confidence. He got a little bit more red pilled. He got a little bit more self-esteem, and he was writing out his boundaries for her. And she's like, this looks stupid. And she's shaming him. She's like, you should write this like you're suggesting it for someone else. And nobody has a right or authority to tell you what your boundaries are other than yourself. Your frame is your frame. You need to have your frame. Your frame is your code, your masculine code that you live life by. Okay. And if you don't uphold it, again, I'm going to clearly state this over and over and over again. If you do not uphold your boundaries, they are meaningless. And yes, sometimes you're going to have to cut people off. You're going to have to say no to opportunities that you think are good. But any situation that causes you to betray your frame, it's not good, guys. It's no bueno.
Right. Because yeah, the leeway that I'm giving is like so stupid. But yeah, dumb.
Yeah, the leeway I'm giving, it is stupid. He needs to trust himself.
Destiny, you said, normally I don't care about money, but after realizing that she had let that jobless loser move in her apartment for free without telling me, I felt really annoyed paying anything for her because I was basically subsidizing this toxic loser. Oh, thanks. Oh, yeah, I did say that. Shouldn't doubt my original statement. It's true. Okay. My initial worry was that like, initially I thought that I'd fucked everything up way too much on all the relationship stuff and it was all my fault. I fucked it. That felt pretty bad. Then I felt like, well, I feel like I'm losing my partner to like a clearly like manipulative, abusive, toxic person. That felt really bad. And then as I started to reflect more, I'm like, wait a second. I feel like I'm like stuck in like this insanely toxic, one-sided, stupid, crazy, fucking wild show. And then when I started to go through like situation after situation after situation after situation after situation after situation with other friends, I'm like, this is wild. And then past that, I was like, well, hold on. This is retarded. I can do so much better than this. And then that's when I realized I'm like, because then I take stock in the rest of my life. It takes like my friendships, my hookups, my everything else. I'm like, everything else is going so exceedingly well. This is like one source of like insane drama and tension and misery for my life. That at that point, it actually feels fine, I think. Yeah, I can like bounce. Yeah. So I actually feel that when I said over the past like week or two, where I'm like, I feel fine. I wasn't like coping or lying or like trying to mask. I legitimately do feel fine because I'm like past this, like the idea that I can like go out at night. I don't have to worry about like if I don't text somebody overnight, they're gonna lie and say I ghosted them for 5 days and tell everybody that I'm like being abusive. I don't have to worry about like did I tell somebody like the right information about a person ahead of time, or else they're gonna say it's cheating if I told them like something different. Like there's just like it's just like so simple in terms of navigating my life right now. But I don't have to worry about like getting in trouble or getting screamed at or like 50 million retarded fucking things happen. Yeah. Last week you said you'd be open to getting back together. Is that still an option? Probably the only way I would consider getting back together is if Melina comes to me with a medical slip showing she got a lobotomy, and then I would consider it. But, yeah.
Good for you. Good for you, Destiny. There he is. There's a body language. It's a stress body language again. Biting his thumb, pushing on the roof of his mouth. Waited.
Bring up the suicide Riz. Sadly, I only used regular Riz. Hold on. I'm trying to.
They talk about the suicide Riz because the guy said and this was more alpha of a move than Destiny, but the Swedish guy was basically like, if you don't end your relationship with Destiny, I'm gonna off myself. And yeah, she fell for it because when you're a toxic person, like healthy people, like you get bored with it. Like you need turmoil, you need that. And I think also I will have to say that I think Destiny has done some level of maturation as he's gone on. But another thing is, I think he's like 35, 34. So he's behind the curve here, but most people are behind the curve. But, yeah, dude, like this situation is just, it's a bad look because he leveled up and he kind of got tired of the toxicity. And then she's still not like most women nowadays, no accountability, no real incentive to change. And so, yeah, she's going to stay in her toxic ways. And then she, you attract what you are, bro. So she found another toxic dude that's like, I'm going to kill myself and be like histrionic like her. And now it's a perfect match made in Brokey heaven.
Where my character is at right now. Hold on. I'm not getting baited. I'm not going to get baited. I'm not going to get set up. I do the setup now. Okay. I do the setups now. I'm in control again. All right. Yeah. Okay.
I personally feel like God is redeeming me for what they did to me in May. And I want to say thank you, Jesus, for that one. Thank you very much, Lord. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's a great Christmas present. Not trying to kick the guy while he's down, but at the same time, I mean, karma's real, guys. I really believe in it. It is real.
How did it take you 3 years to realize all of this? I think it was just the initial problem. I think, I guess if you vibe with this problem, the reason why I don't like talking about this problem though is because somebody in chat said this correctly, and it is true. Most of the people that say this are the exact opposite. Melina did this a lot. When somebody's like, I give so much to everybody around me, I'm taking care of other people all the time. I wish somebody would just like take care of me for once and blah, 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 blah. 99% of the time people say shit like this, they're like, you are the energy vampire in the room. Okay. Everybody is falling into the black hole of your energy sucking. Okay. Like it's really annoying to hear people say that. But, yeah, I would say that my issue was my biggest issue in my prior relationship, and this is 100% my fault. And actually I did do this a lot in public relationships, but I've gotten better about it, is the boundary setting. Where if there's an issue, I just assume that it's always my fault. And then if they make a mistake, I assume that it's still my fault because they made a mistake because of something I did. And then I'll give like infinite allowance for my partner to make infinite mistakes. And then I just assume that all of them are my fault because yeah. To be fair, like Mel also drilled that in my head a lot. And all of our mutual friends drilled that in my head. Steven, she's traumatized because you did this. Steven, of course she feels.
And again, that is, because when you kind of cling to this like leftist agenda that he's brainwashed by, you're going to attract broken people into your life who are also a part of this psychotic demagogue of fucking broken people. And, he's saying here, like, again, he was able to be talked out of his frame, talked out of his boundaries. And again, he said he had boundaries, but he said he gives infinite allowance. And so that's the thing. When you don't enforce your boundaries, things can keep happening. And in this situation, the enforcement of the boundary is to remove the person from your life. That's the best way to enforce a boundary. You do not punish people. You do not do anything like that. You just simply remove yourself from the situation. Remove access of the situation.
This way because 4 years ago you did this. Well, of course she's going to say that. 3 years ago this happened. Well, of course she still feels this way. 5 years ago you did this. And I'm like, me, maybe, yeah. Maybe like the 400th mutual friend that Melina has dumped our entire relationship to that now doesn't want to be friends with me anymore. Maybe this is also my fault. Yeah, maybe every single thing. Like that's like the cycle I was in, which feels retarded. And I say this humblingly or arrogantly, I guess. I should be smarter than this. Yeah. But now that I'm like out of it and I look back in retrospect, I'm like, obviously this is stupid. Like, why the fuck? Yeah. But yeah. Okay. Are you gonna let that meme ticks guy trash talk you in your chat? Listen, meme ticks is the one that's sitting next to the atomic bomb right now. So listen, I got a ton of healthy friendships and relationships in my life right now, and every single person that Melina's ended up walking away from, she has demonized the fuck out of to every single person in her life, including people that never deserved it, which is the vast majority of people in my life, including Eris, including Darius, including Vera, including at one point in time, I don't know, basically every mutual friend that I've ever had that has stopped showing up on stream. Yeah. So listen, you know, Godspeed.
And so again, if she does it to people around you, she'll do it to you eventually. And that's a sign of a narcissist as well. That is a hallmark sign of a narcissist, that anybody who disagrees with them or breaks ties with them, like immediately they begin a very unfair demonization of that person that is not backed up by facts and logic. And for example, if you see situations with a business partner going south, but then there's like verifiable truth as to why the party was broken apart, right? There's some kind of integrity based upon the break. And then one person's like, yeah, well, I stopped doing business with that person because they're dishonest, or they're stealing money, or they're using drugs, or they're an alcoholic, or whatever the case may be, right? That's different from just being like, okay, I broke up with this person, and so now I'm just going to demonize everything they do just because I hate them. Like there's no logic behind it. There's no credible reason that can be backed up with proof. So in this situation, she's just going on the smear campaign.
Dude. Are you ever gonna go on people like Brittany that bought that one-sided shit hard? No, I don't care. Nuke me, bro. You have Nuthin. Well, if you're inviting it. No. Nah. I have to think about like everything that I want to put in. I'll do one meme, okay? We'll do one meme, and then I have to think about like what I want to talk about, what I don't want to talk about, okay? No, fuck, shouldn't. No, fuck, I know I shouldn't, because I know there are things that if they make any statements at all, they're going to lie about. And I think I want to let them lie first. So I'm not going to say anything. I'm sorry. We'll just chill, because I don't know why. I don't know how this happens. Everybody that gets close to me, including Melina, they always like think I'm so stupid. And I guess for a long time I am. But then they'll lie about things, or they'll do things. It's like, do you really think I don't know that this is happening? Or you don't think I've talked to this person? Or you don't think that I've seen this thing? Or you don't think I might be logged into this thing? Or you don't think I might not know about this? Like, it's so stupid. And I've even explained to Melina in the past, like when I know somebody's lying, like I'll let them lie, like see where it goes and see what happens or whatever. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why nobody takes me seriously or does anything. So yeah, I don't know. It's dumb. I don't know. Who knows? It's stupid. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to skip ahead here. So I'm going to show you next section. So this section here, kind of, he talks about where he actually got physically violent with Melina, which I thought was hilarious because of the allegations made against me. But take a look here at the 53-minute mark real quick. Take a look. Listen here.
Into urethral sounding. Maybe that'll come out. Or what was it? Electrode, prostate, anal stimulation or some shit. Was there physical violence? No, there's never any of that shit. Unless she beat me up in my sleep. If there was ever a time of physical violence in our relationship, I will own up to this. There was ever a time of physical violence in our relationship. One time, I think I was danger mode. I think I was playing League of Legends off stream. I think I was on like my 12th loss in a row. Okay. Mathematicians studied my off-GG for things that should have been more statistically improbable than the sudden heat death of the universe. Okay. So I was on like my 11th or 12th. I think I was coming out of my room, and Melina like walked up to me, like, give me a hug or whatever. And I like, get away from me. Push it away. I like walked to the fridge. It's probably the most physically abusive our relationship ever got, I think, that I can remember.
So there he admits to physically pushing her away right after playing a video game. And I'm going to just show you something again. Remember, I had to do my whole long redemption stream to kind of clarify all the crap that happened to me. Well, as I did that stream, we had some evidence that was brought up to here, and I'm just going to show you. This is my reaction to the whole thing that happened, and take a look, and we'll show you exactly what Destiny has said about his past relationships and being violent person. Okay, you tell me based upon this, because these are some things that I found out about Destiny, because he's trying to slander me and trying to manipulate the public perception of me using lies and manipulation. I'm just going to use the truth and you guys tell me what you think.
He's telling me that I'm literally the worst human ever, and it's like he's so like Steven is so great, but I can't handle it.
Because you just shouldn't fight in front of your kids. It's not healthy. It's not good. Parents should always be a united front. You don't want kids to think that you hate each other ever. It's fucking horrible.
You can tell he loves his son so much.
So this is Steven Bonow. He says cuss words.
Yeah.
That's Destiny's son.
What's your name?
Nathan Bonow. He has a girlfriend.
No.
Yeah, he does. He has a girlfriend. He's 9.
This country is fucking. I wish I didn't have a kid sometimes, so I could just pack my shit and get the fuck out of here.
When I eat pizza, I like to eat the toppings first. I like to remove the
Yeah, that's
pepperoni.
weird, bro.
Every time I see my son do this, I like beat the shit out of him. I can't believe it. When we go to a pizza place and I see him like pick shit off, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Nathan? Put it in a box and take it home. You're not gonna embarrass me out here.
Throwing something at somebody is fucking physical abuse. That is domestic abuse. Period. Fucking period. I would have felt my shit with Rachel. I wouldn't have any fucking fans today because you guys would probably think I'm a fucking abuser too. Garen fucking teed. Because you better fucking believe I had to fucking choke her out a few fucking times. That shit got crazy.
So Destiny's been saying. So there he is on record, quite in an unhinged fashion, saying that he had to choke out his ex-wife, and then also had to, you know, he said that he beats his kid too for just eating pizza toppings the wrong way. So again, another thing is that I think that he just needs to take a gigantic break from relationships, streaming, doing drugs and everything, and really, you know, he needs to get his shit together, because he's clearly, you know, he's dealing with a lot. He's clearly dealing with a lot. Yeah. Then so he says he spends all his time streaming. What a wonderful father. No, I think the kid's somewhere else with the mom, and yeah, he's just doing his thing. He ran away with this whore, and here we go. You know, here we are. So yeah, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reporting the facts here. And so here, then I'm going to talk now. The next part that's pretty funny is how he talks about at the 56-minute mark, he starts giving dating advice, which is just like also cringe, like mega cringe. Like, what are you doing, bro? You're not qualified, sir. You are not qualified to give dating advice.
Times perfectly over and over on stream. And I will say it one more time. If you are 30 years old, you probably date girls that are like 25 and older. It's really scary when you date somebody who's 20, because when somebody's that young, they don't really know what they don't really know what they want yet. And especially from 20 to 25, you do a lot of growing, you get into real relationships, you do all this stuff. By the end of like this maturation process, right, when you hit your mid to late 20s, what you want might be completely different from when you're in your early 20s. And by the time you hit 30, you probably roughly know what you want. What I want right now is about the same thing I wanted 5 years ago. About the same thing I wanted 10 years ago. Like if you look at like the history of like the girls I've dated, there is like a large overlap in terms of like personality types and shit. Like I tend to like aggressive girls that are relatively intelligent, that are like very independent, that have like a very type A personality, that are like pretty aggressive. Like, yeah, like all of these, like
all of those are just massive red flags that are not stable for a relationship at all. And it leads me to think there's some kind of unresolved trauma he's dealing with. I'm going to play that again so you can listen to this closely, because he says the biggest reason why he did this, he says the biggest reason why that he's having trouble right now is because she was young. And it's like, no, it's because she was damaged. She was damaged, and she was doing very unscrupulous things, engaged to another guy while dating the guy Max, and then cheating on both of them with you. And then you take in this fucking dirty pig of a woman and you shoot her up to stardom. And now here we are at your divorce.
Date girls that are like 25 and older. It's really scary when you date somebody who's 20, because when somebody's that young, they don't really know what they don't really know what they want yet. And especially from 20 to 25, you do a lot of growing, you get into real relationships, you do all this stuff. By the end of like this maturation process, right, when you hit your mid to late 20s, what you want might be completely different from when you're in your early 20s. And by the time you hit 30, you probably roughly know what you want. What I want right now is about the same thing I wanted 5 years ago, about the same thing I wanted 10 years ago. Like if you look at like the history of like the girls I've dated, there is like a large overlap in terms of like personality types and shit. Like I tend to like aggressive girls that are relatively intelligent.
Aggressive girls, so strike one.
That are like very independent, that have like a very type
independent, strike two.
A personality, that are like pretty aggressive, like yeah.
Type A personality, strike three. Aggressive.
Like all of these like things are like, roughly speaking, yeah, don't like, I probably socially left, I don't know, political views doesn't really matter much. Yeah. All of these things are like roughly true. But obviously for Melina, because of a huge age gap, which again, another red pill thing, be like, oh, you dated her because she was 20. No, her being 20 was probably one of the largest sources of conflict in our entire relationship. Yeah, but I think her being young and then growing up and realizing she was something different was a lot different than me growing up and it's like, I'm still grown up and I kind of want the same shit. Yeah. Yeah. So I think you should always be, I think you should always be careful when you date really young people. Because yeah, anything could fucking happen. Yeah. You would go back in time without knowing the future outcome with the personal growth and boundaries you have now. Would you and Melina still got married / her move to the USA? Or would it have ended way before that? I feel like that answers you're doomed to fail something better. We got married so that she could move here. I don't like dating people long distance. I don't like that's.
Yeah, and then she married him for a visa, which is also a red flag, big strike. Okay. Let's continue on to 101 here. This part is just, so this is just hilarious irony too, to show you how these people are very hypocritical. Listen to what he says here.
It's fine, whatever. Or people that are like really close friends with Melina, that will never believe anything I say, which is, I guess, whatever, that's fine. Here's one thing that I will say, okay? This is one thing that I will say, is if you ever hear anything bad about me, if you ever hear anything horrible about me, please, for the love of God, ask for a log or a receipt, because every time, because I have had a lot of conversations with friends and they say like, yeah, Melina said that like this happened and this person is like, really? Did you actually see like a screenshot of that? And most of the time it's, well, no, she was just telling me what happened. And I'm like, interesting. You should have asked her for that. Maybe next time do it. Or they'll say, well, yeah, I saw a screenshot of the message. I'm like, really? And you didn't have anything to say about what Melina said right before that? And they're like, well, she just showed me like this message. It was like, it was just like cut out. And I was like, you didn't even see the full message window? And they're like, well, no, it was just like this. Like, don't you think it's interesting that you didn't see anything that came before? So I'll just say like, if you have like issues with me, or if you've ever seen me say anything, if you're a streamer influencer, if you've ever seen anything that where it just seems like I'm being completely unhinged for no reason, or a friend of mine is being completely unhinged for no reason, you should, if you give a fuck about being honest or being truthful, which a lot of people don't. I don't even say that like facetious, like some people don't give a fuck, which is fine also, I understand that. But if you do give it, you should ask for like more context. You're like, well, what caused this, or why did this happen? And if the context starts with 5 years ago, you're being fed horseshit. Yeah, that's what
And right there, that's exactly the same thing that he did to me, that they all did with the text messages out of context. And they just showed all this bullshit, him, Auburn Preach, all those people, and that coordinated attack against me, which it's fine because it didn't hurt me whatsoever. Actually caused me to come up with some new good things and develop and become even better businessman. And it was good for me because I leveled up, honestly, looking at it in hindsight. Like, I'm a completely different person after that whole coordinated attack happened against me. But that's the exact same thing that he did to me. And now he's begging for, oh, well, if you see something and it's out of context, like, ask for the full context. Like, do you see the full window? Do you see the full everything? Okay. And that same grace wasn't given to me. And now he's in the situation. And of course, what's he doing? He's crying about it. So there's that adorable part of it all.
Well, yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah.
And then we're going to go to the frame. This is the biggest thing here about frame. Okay. This is the biggest thing about frame. So we're going to go to 105. If you're following at home, 105.30. We'll play it right here. Take a look.
Okay. Here's what I'll say. Okay. Sometimes it feels like a lot of the rules that exist in our relationship are set up for me to fail. Let me put it that way. So for instance, Mel could theoretically, so like, here's the thing that we've said before on panels, right? If you want to hook up with somebody, both partners have to have somebody hook up with ahead of time and blah, 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 blah. In reality, there's actually like 5 million different rules that I have to follow. I have to say it ahead of time. That person has to also say it to Melina, I guess. Melina's being good standing with this person. They can never have said anything that is even possible to interpret as bad at any point in time. I have to tell her right after it happens. I have to respond to her text enough during the day that it happens. There's like a million different qualifiers where if I don't do any one of these, it's like game over. So like, for instance, like this has happened several times. I may tell Melina, hey, there's a girl that I'm going to see. I'm flying to San Francisco, probably going to hook up with this person, blah, blah, blah. And if I do that, and if we hook up and then I go to sleep and I wake up the next morning and then I tell her, that's cheating. She's like, why did you lie and hide this from me? I'm like, so like, I'm not gonna get into like all the details of all of these, but like that would be an example. Now, there was at least one time where I majorly up, the other person majorly up as well. Okay. It was all up, but there was like a ton of like these little bumps that like happened along the way that were very annoying, because on Melina's end, she might be traveling through Europe with 2 guys and they could be full time and she won't tell me unless I ask. I'm like, did you guys like end up hooking up? She's like, oh yeah, we did. I'm like, okay. I don't really care, but it's like the imbalance is like,
yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You clearly care because you remember this instant precisely. So you clearly care. So don't cope, brother. Come on. Just accept it. Just accept it. But again, no frame. And that's the thing. When these women like Melina are psychological predators. And this is what I'm telling when I tell you guys, like, everybody's like, yeah, just get status, just get money, and then women will come. Yeah, you're going to attract a certain level of predator that you're not even aware exist. And in this situation, she knew that she could manipulate and pull the trigger on his little strings, if you will. And hey, guess what? Now here we are, and he is regretting it all. But again, like if a woman is in a position where she's being unfair to you in a relationship and you feel it, she thinks lowly of you and she's using you. You're not the alpha in her mind. You're not the best man she's experienced. You're not the best she thinks she can get. Okay. And this situation here is just like a pure and clear evidence of that, on a gigantic evidence box of why you shouldn't marry a whore. And he's going through it, and this pain is good for him. This pain is good for him. It's good. He's gonna, in a good in the sense, he's gonna level up and he's gonna grow and mature from this.
Very annoying. And that was like a theme of our relationship, like over and over and over again, where there's like 52 million different qualifiers on like my end. Otherwise, I'm like, yeah, that was a really annoying thing to deal with, because then the perception is every time we talk publicly is always like, oh yeah, like Steven's a cheater and a liar and he's done these things. And Melina cheated and lied plenty of times in our relationship. I just don't give a fuck because I don't care. Like I remember one story where I don't know if these matter as much. Like I remember this time where Melina was like, I don't want you to hook up with this girl on the last day that you're there because we're gonna hang out the next day and it makes me feel weird. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. It's stupid, but sure. And then I don't. And then she calls me that night and she's like crying. This is like 4 years ago. She's like crying. She's like, oh my God, like I told you not to, and then I hooked up with 2 people and I'm so sorry and I cheated. And I'm like, I don't even give a fuck. I don't know why you care about this. Like we're in an open relationship.
Gross, bro. Gross. If you're with a girl and she fucks 2 different dudes on a trip and you still wife that up, bro. Gross. That's nasty. That's dirty. I don't care. That is 1,000%.
She belongs to the street.
Could you imagine that? Can you imagine the girl you love not only going out and fucking 1 dude, but fucking 2 dudes on a trip, and then you come home, you kiss her in the mouth after these dudes done up everything they wanted to her?
Like, why the fuck care? I'm annoyed that I didn't. I'm like, who cares? I don't give a fuck. Yeah, but that was like, this is like the level of like stupid shit that is like existing on like both ends of my relationship. I'm like, what? Like, this is so fucking retarded. I will say how did you try that? Well, because eventually what happens, I would hide things. I would just like stop saying things. I would stop talking or whatever. Yeah. Something that this is like a boundary that I had for Melina when I let everybody mind into thinking that she still wanted to be married to me. This was like, I think one of the boundaries that I've written going forward. I was like, if we're going to do an open relationship, which I'm only going to do open relationships, okay? If we're going to do this going forward, here's the new rule. If we're apart, we can whoever we want, however we want, do whatever drugs we want, do whatever we want. And then when we come back, or if we're communicating, we like to leave our partner. And that's it. Full stop. If you don't like that, it doesn't work. We're done. Because as soon as somebody tells you...
And look, and my theory is, look, so you shouldn't be doing drugs at all. You shouldn't be doing any of that shit. But I will say that if there is some kind of fucking degeneracy, a relationship can only handle one degenerate. In my opinion, the guy with the degenerate kind of behaviors, the degenerate should be the man, and the woman should be clean and pure and nice and like feminine and take care of the man. If he's going to engage in some sort of, like degeneracy, like, going to clubs, drinking, or whatever, and he better be doing it for like, networking positions, something like that. And he better be having some serious bread too. But when both parties are involved in this degeneracy, cheating, sleeping, both parties are like doing drugs when they feel like it, like what do you fucking expect to happen? Like, have we lost our fucking mind as a society? Has everybody just gone fucking retarded? Like, does the whole world get like,
retard alert?
I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. It's sad. It's good for me though. Shit, my life's easier.
Like, oh yeah, well, we're poly, but he can't sleep over too much, and they can only have 2 glasses of wine, and they can watch movies, but not rom-coms, and as long as the girl isn't too old, and as long as blah, blah, like, as soon as you try to do like any open or poly shit, and there's like 50 million qualifiers, I'm like, this is retarded, because like every single thing is like set up to, so in my opinion, in my uneducated opinion, because I've only done like one quasi-open poly relationship, if you're gonna do like an open relationship, there has to be like, if partners are getting like jealous or possessive or upset like that easily, then you have to be like, this is stupid, like either don't do it at all, or like it's gotta be completely open, like it can't be like all the dumb rules. It's so stupid, in my opinion. That's what I think is yeah. I think if you're gonna do like any type of shit like this, like both people have to be like very, very, very secure in like everything going on. Yeah, in my opinion. It's one thing to say don't be sleeping with people who hate you and trash talk. It's another thing to set weird pedantic boundaries. And frankly, you shouldn't need to set boundaries because decent people would follow them. Yes, no. True. Well, kind of like have to. Like
no, decent people don't follow boundaries, bro. Like your boundaries must be known. Like you can't assume the other person's just gonna know your boundaries. That's terrible advice.
There are some things that might be worth like spelling out. I think. Yeah.
So look, I'm going to can it there. He just rambles on from that point. But again, the red flags were clearly evident. So guys, look, I'm going to tell you this too. And here's the painful part of today's episode. Okay. If you're at home and you know that the stuff that I reviewed in today's episode is happening in your life with a relationship, a business relationship, a job, a family member, someone is not getting involved in your frame and they're shaming you for your frame, they're holding it against you, this person has to go. Let this be your sign from God, the universe, the fucking flying spaghetti monster, whatever your deity of choice is. Let this be a sign to you, my brother, or for the 4 girls that are watching. Okay? Let this be a sign to you. Get that person out of your life. Stop rationalizing for it. You're emotionally attached and you have some kind of internal like codependency or insecurity going on that is causing you to rationalize this situation that is not for your benefit, and it's going to end up bad. Okay. And I said all that to say this, guys, if you want to learn how to level up and see this stuff clearly and not let this happen to you, the Masculine Empowerment Network is going live on December 28th. If I have earned one drop of credibility on today's live stream, I assure you, I guarantee you, I will change your life. Me and my team of guys, we've been doing this since 2019. We are not chasing the latest fad. We are not chasing the latest trend. We are just doing what works. At the Masculine Empowerment Network, we will get you the money, muscles, game, and frame for you to level up and be the exact man you want to do and be in this life, okay? So go and become a member by signing up on the waiting list. And then on December 28th, we're going to send you the sign up link. And don't forget, you're going to get a free module. It's going to help you identify if a woman is lying to you or not. Free, completely free, but it's only going to be released on the email. I'm never going to show it on YouTube. It's only going to be in the course as well. So go to masculineempowermentnetwork.com, get your email on the waiting list, and or scan the QR code. Okay, at the beginning of today's episode, we had 186 people on the waiting list. And that number, let's see if it's gone up. Let's see if anybody's opted in. We have one person that has opted in. Shout out to you. And I know the number is going to keep going up, 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 and up, up, and up. Okay. So again, we will help turn your life around. Start the new year off great. Thank you guys for being here with me. Guys, I love comments. If you watched up to this point, leave me a comment. I read all comments. I love comments. Leave me a comment. Love it, hate it, whatever the case may be. Let me know. And until then, we'll see you tomorrow. Money Muscles Game Frame. You know the name. It's me, MLD. Until then, we'll see you on the flip side. Peace out.